Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for January's live practice. This is the first time that I'm going live on TikTok, so if you're joining me there, welcome. Otherwise, if you're not joining me live, you'll be seeing this on YouTube. So, hi YouTube. I'm looking up there and I'm looking down here. There's too many cameras. But if you would like to join me today for practice, I have a nice little it's going to be pretty simple. You're not going to need a lot of equipment and you don't need to have any experience. If you'd like to have any equipment with you, if you use them in your regular yoga practice, you can grab some blocks, bolsters, blankets, and if you don't have any of those things, that's perfectly fine. You don't necessarily need them. So I'm going to go ahead and back myself up onto the mat. So I will meet you there. And we're going to start out in a nice, comfortable, cross-legged seat. Let me get up here. Now, if you have cranky knees at all, something that I would recommend is having a blanket or a bolster. And if you don't have these, that's perfectly okay. You don't necessarily need exactly this. You can use whatever you have around your house, so a pillow or anything like that. But if your knees are cranky when you come to sit down, you can sit on either a blanket. I've messed this all up, so we're not going to use that. Oh, look, we have a Sam. Sam's coming to say hello. Say hi, Sam. But you can come to sit on this. This is going to bring your hips above your knees here, and it's a little bit nicer on your knees. And we have a Fritz here too. Go say hello. Okay. One. Goodbye. Goodbye. Unless you're going to lay down on your blanket. All right, so we are going to start out in just a comfortable cross-legged seat, whatever feels good to you. Again, you don't have to be sitting on something, but you can if you'd like. And your palms can just be resting, facing up or down. Doesn't matter, whatever feels good in your body today. And we're just going to take a moment here to really settle into the practice. If it feels safe to you, you can close your eyes. If not, just soften your gaze, focus on something out around you, and you don't have to focus super hard. And we're going to take a few moments just for some really big, deep belly breaths. So depending on what you've been doing today, or if you've been running around, or just whatever, we're going to take a moment here just to calm. I need a moment to calm, so I'm going to do it. All right, so nice big inhales in. Really feel the lung filling your chest and also your belly. You really want to breathe into your belly and feel all of that expand. I know so many times we try and suck it in and make it seem like it's not there, but we all have bellies, so just let the air inflate and then big full exhales. Really feel the air all coming out of you. Sometimes we breathe too shallowly and we're not taking full big breaths. Sometimes when I exhale, I like to imagine that I'm exhaling through a straw. That will slow down that exhale, and it also helps to do a full exhale. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, you can, or you don't have to, completely up to you. Let's take one more big inhale together. Pause, hold at the top, and then exhale, let it go. your eyes are closed, you can open them back up to the room around you. If you are sitting on something, go ahead. If it's really high up, like what I was sitting on, my bolster here, get rid of it. I'm gonna throw that behind me. And we're just gonna come, just sit flat, or as flat as you can. If you're sitting on a blanket, that's fine, you can stay there. Just make sure your hips aren't too high up. We're gonna warm up through the spine a little bit, so we're gonna do a little bit of a spinal twist. So we'll take our left hand and just place it on our right knee here. Place it, don't use it to pull yourself. And on an inhale, take your right hand and we're just gonna bring it around behind us. Inhale, sit up nice and straight and tall. And then as you exhale, start to twist towards the short edge of your mat over here on the right. And you can look over. Now you don't want to use this left hand to pull yourself over and to grab yourself into that position. So inhale, we'll sit up nice and straight and tall. And then exhale, go ahead and journey into that twist. And then we'll just pause here and breathe for a little bit. After your next exhale, we'll return to center, pause, take a breath here, see how you feel. You can compare both sides. Then when you're ready, we're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to take my left hand and just place it gently on my right knee here, right thigh. Left fingers are going to swim around behind me. Inhaling, sitting up nice and straight and tall. Exhale, go ahead and journey into that twist. You don't have to twist as far as I am. Listen to your body. Only go as far as it feels comfortable for you. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll release and come back to center. All right. So you should be feeling a little bit more loose in your back and in the sides. We're going to go ahead and transition to all fours. Again, if you have cranky knees and you need a little bit more padding depending on the surface you're working on, you can grab your blanket or a towel or whatever you have and just place it underneath your knees so you have a little extra padding. If you don't worry about it. This mat's a little thin that I'm using today. I'm not going to use it, but it is all right if you do. All right, so we're going to set up in a nice tabletop position. Knees are going to be in line with your hips here, hands in line with your shoulder, back nice and straight. Look a little bit further out, so don't crank your neck up, don't let it drop down. So just nice flat back here. Feet pressing firmly into the mat, so that way you're a little bit more stable. And when you're ready, we're going to warm up our spine a little bit more. So on the inhale, we're going to drop our lower ribs, lift your chest up, lift your tail up, coming into a cow pose. And guess why this is called cow? You're dropping your udders essentially. And then as you exhale, we're going to tuck our tail, tuck our head, round through the spine, and really feel a nice big stretch through our back body as we come into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Go ahead and do a few more just on your own inhales and exhales. And if you find any sticky points where this movement feels really good, so if you're up in cat and this feels really good on your back body, stay in it for a couple breaths. I am just a guide, so you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Wherever you're at, let's go ahead and do one more together. So we'll inhale, coming into cow. Exhale, rounding into cat. Then we'll return to our nice neutral spine. So just compare, take a breath, see how your body feels now. All right, we're going to work on some balance, just a little bit of balance, not a whole lot. So to start, and you can adjust this however you'd like, completely up to you, yogi's choice, there's different levels here. So when you're ready, we're going to take our right foot out, keep your toes on the ground, and then you can rock back and forth. You'll feel a nice big stretch through your calf, through your leg. And after a few breaths of this, go ahead and pause. And then we will lift those right toes up. Keep everything in line. So you don't want to lift it too high up, but just nice in line, toes dialed down. And you'll pause. Now maybe you stay here today. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, go ahead, shift your weight just slightly onto your right hand. Don't dump your weight, just shift a little bit. We'll pick our left hand up and stretch it out like you're shaking someone's hand. And we'll just hold here for a few breaths. Let's take one more inhale here. And then exhale, let's go ahead and put everything back down, returning to our tabletop position. Whew. So now we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So you already know where we're going. So set yourself up for success here. We'll reach our left foot out, toes on the ground, and then you can just rock back and forth, feeling a nice big stretch in your body here. My toes are off the mat a little bit here. That's all right though. When you've had enough of that, go ahead and bring that to stillness. We're going to lift those left toes up, keep them dialed down. So again, doesn't have to be lifted clear up, just straight in line. If you'd like to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, we'll reach our right arm forward like we're shaking someone's hand. And breathe. If you're shaking, it's okay. Feel the shake. Just means you're alive. One more breath here. And then exhale, we'll lower it all down. Whew. If you'd like to walk your hands back, you can. Shake out your wrist a little bit. That was a lot of wrist work. You can do some wrist circles or just shake them out. And then we'll return back to our tabletop position. Now this is where it's going to get a little tricky and you're going to have to listen to your body. Curl your toes under. And then again, walk your hands back and start to come up into this little kind of almost like a froggy squat here. I'll turn to the front here so you can see me. So my heels are up. I'm just on my toes. You can stay here. If this is not a good position for you, then that is okay. You can, let's see. If you have blocks, you can come to sit on a block if that feels good. Or just do whatever you need to do to get up a little bit. This is a big hip opener, so this is not going to be appropriate for everyone, but if you're able to get into it, I would recommend it. But we're going to stay in this little yogic squat. For some people, if you are experienced, you may be able to bring your heels down to the mat, and then you can bring your hands in a prayer position, and you can sit here like this. But again, this is not going to be appropriate for everyone. So you can always come up a little bit higher if need to, keeping your hands on the mat. And for our purposes today, that's perfectly fine. So I'll give everyone just a minute to get into their yogic squat, your version. We'll breathe here. All right, when you're ready, we're going to really place our hands on the mat, start to straighten through your legs. If your heels are up, bring them down, and we're going to venture into a forward fold. If your toes are turned out like mine are, bring them in so they're facing the front of your mat. Slight bend in your knee. They don't need to be locked out and straight. Slight bend. And then once you're here, just let your head hang, breathe. You should feel a nice big stretch in your hamstrings. If your knees are more bent, you're going to feel it more in your lower back. So again, yogi's choice, whatever feels good to you today. And we're going to hang here and just breathe for a little bit. All right, whenever you're ready, we are going to slowly start to roll all the way up. Take as much time as you need. I'm usually way too fast on this. And then once you're there, we're going to move into mountain pose. I like to fidget a lot, so I'm going to fix my pants here because I can feel them rolling down. I'm going to fix my shirt because I'm not trying to give that kind of a show today. And then you can roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Really feel your feet on the mat. Sometimes I like to pick my feet up and place them back down so that way I can really feel that foot to earth connection and feel that mat underneath me. But once you feel nice and grounded, bring it to stillness, hands at your side, looking forward in your nice, strong mountain pose. We'll take a moment here just to breathe. We're going to get ready to flow here in just a minute. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm now. All right, when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll reach our arms up to the sky. And then exhale, we're going to shift our hips back, slight bend in the knees as we come forward into our forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, keep a nice flat back. Your hands can just be resting gently on your shins. Exhale, let it go. Now this is a perfect posture for your blocks. So if you have any difficulties bringing your hands down to the mat or getting down there, you can always use your blocks here to bring the floor up to you. They can be on different levels. Let's say you're like, I don't have blocks. Just bend your knees as generously as you need to for what feels comfortable in your body. Your hands can rest on your thighs. They can rest on your shin. They can be on the ground. Just make sure you're not pressing on your knees, please. Once you're in your version of forward fold, just let your head hang. You can shake your head yes, maybe shake it no. Let everything out. All right, and after your last breath, make sure wherever you're at, whatever version you're in, that your palms are placed firmly on the mat for this next move. From here, we're going to step one foot back, whatever foot you like. And then we're going to step our other foot back, whichever foot you like. We're coming into our very first plank. Now, you can always lower down to your knees and come into a half plank, or you can be up off your knees in full plank. Make sure that you have one nice straight line from the tip of your head to your tail. Your hips shouldn't be dipping down. They shouldn't be up in the air. Nice straight line. Push back through the heels, push away from the mat, looking forward, and we'll breathe. We have a few more of these. So one more inhale here. And then on the exhale, press through the hands, lift your hips up, let your heels grow heavy. We'll move into our first downward facing dog. It's okay if your heels don't touch the mat. You'll want to really press through your thumb, your pointer, and your middle finger to take pressure off of your wrists. Breathe. This is our recovery pose. One more big inhale here, and then exhale, let it go. All right. Really press your left foot down. Make sure it's nice and rooted into the mat. From here on an inhale, we'll lift our right foot up. Keep the toes dialed down. Again, it doesn't have to be super high up here. On the exhale, we're going to shift our body weight forward. Bring that knee in towards your chest. And then we'll step our right foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower down onto that left knee. You can keep your toes tucked or untucked. We're going to move into a low lunge. Now, in this low lunge, I'm going to set you up. This front knee should be at a nice 90-degree angle. You don't want to be pressing that knee too far back or too far forward. And when you look down, you should be able to see your big toe. If you don't see your big toe, press that knee out to the side. And you have a few different options. So, we can use blocks. Again, the blocks will help you keep a lift up in your chest while you feel that stretch in your legs. If you don't have blocks, come up a little bit higher and just rest your hands on your thigh. Again, do not press on your knee, please. Otherwise, you can have your fingertips on the ground. Maybe you can get your hands on the ground. I cannot. We're going to pull our right hip crease back, left hip crease forward, chest nice and lifted, looking forward. And breathe. All right, when you're ready, we're going to take our left hand really firmly planted onto the mat. Now, your left foot can be either, or your left knee can be on the ground, or you can lift it. Again, yogi's choice. And from here, we're going to reach our right fingers up towards the sky, coming into a twist. So again, you can be here or here. After your next exhale, go ahead and come back to your low lunge. Make sure your palms are planted. We'll step our right foot back to meet our left, coming into our plank. Again, full plank or half plank, completely up to you. And we'll breathe. One more big inhale here. And on the exhale, we'll lower all the way down to the belly. You can untuck the toes, lower your head. Take a big breath. From here, we're going to make sure our hands are in line with our shoulder. And on an inhale, just slowly peel your forehead up and look forward. We're coming into a little baby cobra to start. We'll grow this the next round. Your next exhale, we'll lower our forehead back down. Go ahead and come back to all fours or your tabletop position. Tuck the toes under. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift the knees, straighten through the legs, press through the hands. We're coming into downward facing dog once again before we move to the other side. From here, we'll just breathe. Relax for a little bit. All right, when you're ready, we're going to plant our right foot into the mat. We will lift our left foot up, keep the toes dialed down. Everything is in line with the hips here. On your next exhale, shift forward, bend through that knee, bring it in towards your chest, and we'll step our left foot in between our palms, and then you can lower down onto your right knee if you'd like. Coming into our version of low lunge. So whatever that looks like for you is perfectly fine. And again, we'll breathe here. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna make our way into our twist. So I'm gonna plant my right palm down. Again, you can be lowered onto your knee, or you can tuck those toes and lift that knee up. We will spiral up to the left side here. So my left arm is extended, looking up at it. And again, there or there. One more breath here. And exhale, we'll lower our left hand to the mat, coming back into our low lunge. Plant your palm, we'll step left toes back to meet the right, and we'll come back into our plank. This is the last plank of the practice. Make it the best one. If you're shaking, that's great. One more breath here. And then exhale, we'll lower all the way down to the belly. And take a breath. Now from here, you can either go back into your baby cobra, or if you'd like to grow it, press through the hands, rise up. If you feel any crankiness in your lower spine or in your spine at all, lower down a little bit. You don't have to come as high up. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you're not collapsing into your arms. So you don't want to wear your shoulders as earrings. So really pull those shoulder blades back. Let your chest radiate forward as you look forward. One more breath here. And exhale. Let's lower all the way back down to the mat. Now, I'm going to give some options here. You can either come through all fours and come into your final downward facing dog, or you can come with me and I'm going to show you another option. But either way, I'll meet everybody in downward facing dog. So if you're coming with me, we're going to tuck our toes under. Make sure your hands are firmly planted into the mat. Inhale to prepare. And on an exhale, really press through your hands. We're going to come back into our plank. Inhale again. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back. Moving into our downward facing dog. This is our last one, so really breathe here. After your next exhale, go ahead and lower your knees down to the mat. And we're going to shift onto our booties here. So however that looks for you, go ahead and do that. I'll meet you there. We're going to go ahead and come onto our backs. And once you're there, let's bring our knees into our chest. And you can give yourself a little hug here. Breathe. We're going to start to cool things down. All right, when you're ready, place your feet down on the mat just for a moment. Pick your hips up, shift them over to the right. From here, you can bring your knees back into your chest, and we're going to let our legs fall over towards our left side. Now your hands can be just resting on your body. You might want to stretch them out into like a big Texas T here. You can look the opposite way. So I'm looking over to my right. And breathe. I do sometimes like to take my hand and just place it on my thigh for some extra support. So you can do that also. Just again, make sure you're not pressing on your knee. When you're ready, we'll come back to center. We're going to bump our hips over to the left now. Bring your knees back in towards your chest, and then let everything fall over towards the right. Gotta move all my junk over here. And we'll breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale. We'll return to center. And if you'd like to take any additional movements, you can. Otherwise, we'll stretch one leg out long, the other leg out long. Your hands can come out at your sides. They can be on your body, whatever feels good to you. If you're an experienced yogi and you like to use props for your shavasana, then go ahead and grab those and set yourself up. Otherwise, you don't necessarily, again, need any equipment. We're going to take a moment here just for gratitude for our bodies, for taking this time to practice, and just feeling the benefits of our practice just sink into our body here. So I am going to go quiet for a moment to allow you to rest in Shavasana. Your eyes can be closed if you'd like, but I will keep track of the time. And I will guide you out shortly. So if you've practiced with me before, then you know that I like to pull a card for every practice that I do. And this week I pulled Dove Spirit, showing that to everyone. And the message for today is be peace. With her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. You always have the power to generate peace within you, and the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within you as you body tranquility. Above, below, and all around you, much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker, asking yourself, what would peace do? Can you agree to disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as Spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of a harmonious existence with all that is. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart. I think that's a great little message to start the new year. If you're still in Shavasana and would like to stay there, go ahead and stay as long as time allows. When you are ready to transition out, then slowly start to deepen your breaths. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, place your feet firmly on the mat, just 1 foot at a time. After a couple breaths there, roll to your favorite side and come into a little fetal position. Stay there for just a moment and breathe. Whenever you feel ready, then slowly, slowly, slowly go ahead and come back to a seat, bringing your head and neck up last. You can open your eyes back to the world around you once you're ready. So thank you so much for joining me for this practice for January. I am so happy that you spent your time and your energy and your practice with me and with anyone else that was practicing. I will do another live probably in February. It'll be probably in that first week. We'll see. I'll try and plan to make an announcement so that way people know rather than this time and I just did it spontaneously, but that's okay. We're going to play with this and see. But I will be back next week with a brand new practice that will be on my Patreon channel. If you're interested in that, the link is in the bio. You get a full 7 days for free. After that, it is a monthly fee that you can cancel anytime. With that, you get access to every practice I've ever done. So it's quite a library there. So if this is something that interests you, definitely check it out. We have Fritz and Sam here again. Once you want to say goodbye. So I hope to see you next week. If you know anyone, if you are joining the live, this will be on YouTube later as soon as I get it up there. If you're already on YouTube, thank you for joining me. I will be back again next week on Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you next month on YouTube and on TikTok. So I will see you guys later. Have a great January. Bye.